where they just kind of just started. They were talking and then they started recording while they were talking about whatever they were discussing. It was so good. I was like, oh wow.
Yeah,
I thought
That's a
you
really
had to
good
have
point.
like a schedule or something, but you could just start talking.
just talk.
Yeah.
But go ahead and repeat what you said, Cassandra, because that was very much so real, real,
Over
real.
recording now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was saying that it's interesting to me when I see that one spouse is like, drowning because of the cares and affairs of life, and then the other spouse is just like Shirley said, hunky dory, like nothing is moving them, nothing is going like that. It makes me wonder, like, are you really married? Because if anything, if one spouse feels like they're drowning, I'm not telling the next spouse you got to be depressed. Nobody's saying that, but you should at some point say, you know what, I'm gonna take over today, babe. You just chill, try to get yourself together, and I'll take over to the best of my ability. I think that's what a partnership is in marriage.
And I think like you have to be in tune with your partner and be able to identify when they're drowning, because
Mm-hmm.
some people that are not going to say anything at all because they feel like they
Mm-hmm.
to handle it, they don't need no help, or they don't want
Yep.
to burden you as their spouse. It's their issue. But you
Mm-hmm.
get in tune enough with your partner to be like, "Are you okay today? Like,
Yep.
do
Yep.
you need anything?
So,
Yep.
Sure you're
do
okay."
do y'all think marriage is a partnership now, and it was less a partnership
Absolutely.
before?
I think it was always a partnership, even in the, sorry for the noise, guys. I think it was always a partnership, even when in like the 40s and stuff like that, where the woman didn't have to work. Her her contribution was making sure that when he come home, he's coming home to a home and not a house. Everything is in order, the kids are in order, and then his job is to make sure that when I come home, she feels like she's home too, and not like she's at a full-time job, because sometimes being at home with your kids, like Shirley could probably attest to it now because you work from home, it feels more like a job some days because you cooking, you cleaning, you taking care of the kids, you taking care of the spouse, and then now it's like you're supposed to relax. You're like, bro, I've been here all day working. I don't know if I can relax now.
Mhm.
It's definitely a job. Like, hats off to any single, not even single parent, housewives that stay
Yep.
home and take care of the kids, because it is definitely a job. And it's just the fact that you're not only worried about the kids, you're also worrying about the husband. Like, I literally,
Mm-hmm.
every day, I have to think about what everybody in the house is going to eat for breakfast, lunch,
Yep.
like
Yep.
every, like that might not seem like a lot, but it can become mentally exhausting, and you always got to plan ahead. Like, literally today I woke up and I was like, I gotta go to Publix. Like, I gotta
Mm-hmm.
go to Publix because what are the kids gonna eat? What is Cliff gonna eat? Like, what
Mm-hmm.
is gonna eat for the week? Like, what is gonna be lunch? What is gonna be this? And then like, oh, I gotta do laundry. I gotta get the kids' clothes ready. I gotta do, so always constantly thinking and making sure that the house is running smoothly on top of having a full-time job is a
Mm.
lot. It is
It's
a
a
lot.
lot.
It's a lot for
Now,
people who don't have a full-time job. So imagine someone who is working 40 hours a week on top of taking
mm-hmm.
care of the household. I do think marriage is a partnership, and I don't see nothing wrong with that. I think it needs to be a partnership because, especially in a
They'd be
situation
like,
where,
"Oh, she ain't doing that much." I'd be like, "What the heck are you talking? Do y'all not realize staying at home,
No,
being a full-time parent, is a lot of work, whether you're a
no.
man or a woman?"
I always thought marriage or partnership simply for that fact. Like people always say, okay, being. I think there's roles still, but I always thought it was a
Mm-hmm.
partnership because even when the man was like working all day, you feel me, and the wife was at the house, you know what I'm saying? Her 50% was the household shit. He didn't have to come home and
Mm-hmm.
take care of nothing for the house, you know what I'm saying? So like I think, and he was doing all the his 50% was all outside stuff, doing the yard work
providing.
and providing
Mm-hmm.
the bill, paying for the bills and all that stuff in the car. So it was always a 50-50 thing and a partnership. But I think people didn't really look at it like that because they saw, okay, they thought the man is running everything and they're running the household and he got her inside the house slaving, you know what I'm saying, and shit like
Yep.
that. That's her 50%, you know what I'm saying? So you feel me?
Modern day slavery.
And you know what I'm saying? I think like nowadays, you know what I'm saying, because for the most part you need like two incomes, like unless you're making a lot of money, two incomes to like survive in like cities. I think
Mm-hmm.
nowadays it's okay being both people's is working, so both people gotta pitch in on cleaning and cooking and you
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying, doing that shit. It can't be just one person no more.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. I think back in the day, I think we're coming back around to women becoming in those traditional roles because remember we
Yeah.
had this whole independent woman era. So of women who were housewives, other women were looking down on them like
Mhm.
you stay at home and cook and clean for him all day. You ain't got no
Mhm.
job. You don't have
Yes,
a
sir.
This is what I'm
career.
talking about right
Mhm.
You don't have no degree,
You
girl.
don't
What if
got
he ups
nothing
and
going for
leaves you?
yourself.
Yeah,
Yep.
you don't have nothing for yourself. Like, oh, what if he ups and leaves you and this and that? So I think now people are coming back to it and they're like, oh, I'm
Mhm.
in my soft life era. I'm in my this. I'm
All
gonna
right,
Mhm.
leave him.
perfect.
Hi, honey.
This ties to the topic. I'm gonna give you this because I had an icebreaker that was just like this. So I'm gonna play the
Oh, cool.
icebreaker real quick, and then I'm gonna get y'all questions as to because it's almost similar to what we talking about right now. So give me a second. Let me know when y'all see it. Y'all see the
Yeah.
screen?
Yes.
Yeah, I
All
can
right.
see it.
And or not on the panels, but she's come on the lives and said, "Yo, I don't require anything of Anton." And because she has that sentiment, she will always be taken care of for the rest of her life. Yeah. What women don't understand is that you get more through your femininity than through combat.
Exactly. Real
Mm.
niggas don't
Even
get half shit.
even when women divorce men, let's just say, for example, you go through the court or whatever, so on and so forth. She's better off playing nice than she is trying to get half of whatever it is, you know what I'm saying, that's popping. And she knows this. She Rita's smart. She knows that she don't argue with me to get stuff. She loves on me because she knows that I wanna take care of her as a result of her loyalty and her love that she has for me. Y'all can get way more through your femininity than being combative. And I don't know why women don't understand that. Rita will be taken care of for the rest of her life, no matter what happens, just because I have that level of love for her.
All right. So I kind of put that on because we was kind of sort of talking about it, and I was like, hey, because you said soft life, and I'm like, girls are just not getting back to that soft life to where men was pretty much trying to take care of, not take care of them, you know what I'm saying, but like they don't want that heavy burden that the man was normally taking care of in the past, you feel me, traditionally. And then y'all want the softness back and stuff like that. And I'm like, my question would be, which I have, let me pull it up here, is let me edit it real quick and then save that and then add it to the stream and then
Do
do
women
women.
get more with sugar than with salt? Yes, of course. And black women, you got to be extra sugary. Okay?
Yep.
'Cause they already expect you to be salty as hell. They
Yep.
expect you to
And
be
nasty.
aggressive. They expect
Mhm.
you to be nasty, to have an attitude.
Mhm.
So you got to be extra sweet on top of the sweet.
Now about
So
women,
white women, actually, white women can be rude as hell and still are not looked at as aggressive and nasty as a black
Can
woman.
can we be real? They are very aggressive with their husbands. Y'all be seeing the Karen memes on Instagram? They hella aggressive. Like you think a black woman, some of the ways they talk to their husbands in public, I would never talk to Rylan like that. Never. And Rylan don't even hit me. And I would never talk to my man like that. I would just be
That's
like,
funny.
all right, bro, I'm gonna let you live. I'm gonna let you live. When I get home, I'm gonna let you live. But they be like, I told you, get them goddamn kids off. You're gonna listen. You're gonna listen. You little cunt. You're gonna listen. And that's how they talk to their husbands. And we don't talk to our husbands like that. When I
Ah,
when I do see a black woman behaving like that in public, I'd be like, sis, I'd be embarrassed for her. I'd be like, sis, why are you talking to your
Yeah,
king like that?
I think it just depends. I actually don't even really think that's a race thing. I think there's just some women that are like overly aggressive, and then
Mm-hmm.
there's some women that, are a little more docile and show respect to a man. I really think it's just based on how you're raised, not more so
Mm-hmm.
your race. But I do think there's a stigma that black women carry of being more aggressive and more, attitude and all of that. And
Mm-hmm.
again, like I said, we have to be extra sweet or nice because if I say something direct and truthful, surely you're rude. But around and say the same exact thing, and it'll be nothing. It'll be like, oh, she She knows what
She's
she's
really,
talking about.
she's having a
That was
hard
some
day.
great advice. Yeah, or they'll make an excuse. You know what I mean? But oh, Shirley's rude. It's to the point where I
You
don't
are
care.
rude. Though.
I'll be crazy. But what you're not gonna say is Shirley a liar. Shirley gonna tell you the truth.
Yeah, I rather deal with. I love dealing with truth in truth as well. The Bible tell you to behave like that than to be a liar. I can't take a liar. Like you, one person in front of these people, and then you're not. I can't deal with that. You're like like what they call it, schizophrenia. I can't deal with that. You need to be one person all the time, all the time.
But to the question, yes, women get more with sugar than with salt. And I think Black women are starting to realize that the whole independent woman, aggressive, I gotta be this. I feel like Black people in general are starting to go back to building Black families versus
Mm-hmm.
us being separate. So I think women are starting to show their femininity a little more and not feel like they have to be as masculine. I also feel like Black men are starting to step it up and wanting to be and create families and not just have a baby mother and all this stuff. Of course,
Yeah.
always outliers, but I will say the common trend that I'm seeing now is back to being like Black love, Black families, and that's what we need. That's what we need.
So my question would be for that: how did you feel me? Well, you said okay, black women are starting to getting back to their softness and their femininity and stuff like that. Well, who tricked y'all then? You know what I'm saying? Or who tricked black women into thinking that that was something they wasn't supposed to be doing?
I don't think
Oh,
anyone
that.
tricked us. I think it's the lack of education. Because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's people that still think like that right now. But I feel like once you elevate in life and you have a certain level of experiences and education, you become more wise
Mm-hmm.
or more knowledge, not education. But yeah, you become more wise. So you start to look at things differently for what they are. You start to challenge the masses. You start to double think what society tells you. Like you start to question more. You be more curious.
Mm-hmm.
You're more
Mm-hmm.
curious. So I think there are still people that probably feel like I need to be single, I need to take care, I can't depend on no man because of their life experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's
It's,
some women who have come across some great men in life and they think differently. It's all about perspective and your experiences.
you
But
think
I
it's a
also
fear?
think,
Yep.
You
oh
think it's a
yeah,
fear like, oh, I'm afraid if I 100% trust, you know what I'm saying, this dude or whatever, you know what I'm saying, he's gonna let me down off rip, you know what I'm saying. In the first instance of
absolutely.
anything, you feel
Mm-hmm.
me, I'm out.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely, it is a fear. I think we do everything in life out of fear.
Yep.
Everything, the way we operate, the decisions we make, it's all to avoid certain things or to avoid negative outcomes. So yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to depend on anybody else because of the fear of being let down. If I don't depend on nobody else, no one can let me down.
Yep. Put your expectations really low, really,
Yeah.
really low.
Yeah.
But I agree with Shirley that I believe society. I know I'm always blaming society. I know that aggravates you, Cliff, because I blame society for the student loan and going to college. But I do. I believe
Society didn't
that's
make you down go to college.
we ain't gonna go there, Cliff, because I'm always gonna have to agree to disagree.
I
Because
mean,
they did.
technically, not to cut you off, Cassandra, technically, when we were in
It
school,
did.
they definitely pushed us to go to college.
They
Now it's
did.
like, oh, college is not necessary to make money. You can go
Go
into
on TikTok. You can be a millionaire.
yeah, but when we were going
Yeah.
through school, you better go to college now. If you want to make
Yeah.
some money, you got to go to college. So,
And
Y'all
make people.
remember how? Y'all remember
We're not
how
gonna
much they
revisit the
frowned?
conversation. God damn it, we're not
Okay.
revisiting the conversation. Finish your
Okay.
thought. Finish your
Because I
thought.
was gonna say, you remember they frowned upon Mark Zuckerberg for quitting college to do Facebook. They frowned upon that, and look at him now,
hmm
child. But anyway, I do believe that society paint for a long time, especially for Black women. Most of us were raised around grandmothers, mothers, great grandmothers. We didn't have a lot of men around us, so our picture of a family was as long as I got my mama and my cousins, I'm gonna be good. I don't need
Man,
nobody else. He ain't gotta stay. We'll figure it out. And now the like our generation, millennials, because I feel like millennials are the picture of what's happening in the world. Now millennials are like, "No, I'm good. I'm not trying to be like grandma sleeping by myself for the rest of my life struggling. I
Yeah.
want a husband. I don't want just a baby daddy. I don't want a friend. I want a husband. So now we're not being as rough and difficult. We're sticking things through, even if there's a mistake. Not saying that we're gonna allow a lot of nonsense, but even if there's a mistake, we look for ways to make it through so that we can build families that don't hurt people. You know, we're not trying to build families anymore that hurt the kids, hurt the neighbor, hurt everybody. Got our kids shooting up schools because they broken. So I do believe that society painted a picture, our society, our reality painted a picture that you didn't need a man. And now that we're getting older, we're like, you do need it. You can't do everything. As a mother, I only have one son. You got two, Shirley. As having Levi, I can't teach Levi everything. I can't. I cannot, because some stuff he's gonna be too emotional, and that's how I just respond to life. So thank God he got his daddy. Thank God he got his daddy and his uncles around him to be like, yeah, you ain't gonna do that. Come sit over here. Come sit over here. You ain't gonna be doing all that doggone crying all day. Sit down and you deal with your emotions, but you gotta get over this. So nah,
And not
I
even simply also for like I feel like girls need their dads too. It's not
yep.
even just like a son or a same gender thing. I feel like girls need their dads because they see how a man should conduct himself, how a man
Mm-hmm.
should behave and things like I you always hear women when they get older, if they had a good father and a father that was in their life, they always say they want to marry somebody like their daddy
Mm-hmm.
because that's the representation of what love is to them. That's their first love. So I think both parents in the household is just important for the overall child, like the
Yep.
whole child.
Not just them being in your life, but the same household. Because in the
Yeah,
same household, it's the same rules apply, the same outlook, the same expectation. When you dealing with a household, unfortunately, divorce does happen. You know, that's very unfortunate. It happens. But I noticed with kids who grow up in households with divorced parents, they're accustomed to. It's almost like they got to live that schizophrenic life I told you about, where
double life.
at a double life. At daddy house, I'm free to do whatever I want, whenever I want. I ain't even gotta eat. I can eat pizza all week. And then when I go home, this lady talking about I gotta eat and do homework. I don't gotta do that when I'm at his house, you know?
Yeah,
Or at daddy's house, daddy, or at mommy's house, mommy may be entertaining a lot of men, you know? And then the child is accustomed to seeing people come in and out their life, so they don't have no balance, no structure. But then daddy, at daddy's house, daddy got a new girlfriend and daddy getting married, and then mommy saying negative things about daddy and the girlfriend. So I don't know. I think being in a household together with both your parents, if you can, is very good for a child. Very good
I
for a
think
child.
Yeah.
I think a child just witnessing a healthy relationship is good for their development.
Period. Yeah.
No
Period.
matter how that healthy relationship is, but just witnessing that is very important. Very
Yep.
important.
I agree
But
with
yeah,
that.
women need to soften up.
Be
We're not
nicer, baby.
we're not men.
Just
Yeah.
get more with
I don't want to
sugar
be a
than you get
man.
with salt. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I think it's a humbling
Listen,
experience too, to learn how to do it, to learn how to just be like, you know what, babe, I don't understand it your way. It's gonna be a little difficult for me, but I'm gonna try. If you just it's not gonna be a one time thing where you may not raise your voice at him or get upset, but over time you'll find yourself like, dang, I do get more from him. Like when you like, honey, can you take that trash out for me? You notice he don't get mad anymore. He just get up and take the trash out. Honey, can you bathe Simon for me? I'm a little tired. He just do it. But when you be like, nigga, you better bathe him. I bathe him all this week. You ain't do nothing but sit down and play Madden 2 and all this stuff. You notice that man is never
yeah,
home.
yeah, he ain't
Yeah.
finna stay for that. He gonna be like, you know what? I don't need to hear this shit.
Yeah.
I'm gone. I'm outside.
People just want peace. Like I always see, oh, you want your man to do right, just make sure he's at home when he's peaceful because he got to fight in this world. So when he comes home, he wants to come to peace. Everybody want peace, not a man, not a woman.
Yeah.
Everybody house should be peace. Like that's
Hmm.
your
Yeah, I think the thing is, most of the time, niggas is not making it unpeaceful for females. You know what I'm saying?
I
For the most
don't know,
part,
Cliff. I don't know, Cliff. I don't know, Cliff. If
if
you
y'all in the
see that
house,
the
if y'all in the house, and then
Mhm.
you feel me, y'all two or whatever, you feel me, y'all in a relationship with, who's normally acting up, or if y'all just pretty much describe what a woman do, you feel me, to make it unpeaceful for a man. What does a man do to make it unpeaceful for her if he's in the house
Not
in the
helping,
relationship?
not helping, and you see she need
There's
help,
a lot of men that sit there and just go to work and come home and
and
sit on
that's
their
it.
or on the
That's
So
it.
that's
weekends in
unpeaceful for
front of
her.
that.
That's
Huh?
a problem.
That's
Yeah.
unpeaceful for her.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're not
Okay,
getting
so are we
any
talking about,
help.
okay, there's a man, he's going out, he's working, and she does she work?
We talked
Does
about
she work?
50.
Question.
I don't know,
Does
Cliff,
she,
because now we're just making up scenarios. We're not even really talking about a person. If you
just
want to
because if
say,
she
yeah,
did,
in this scenario,
I'm
she
not
works,
making up a
like, I don't
scenario.
know.
I'm trying to figure out if she doesn't work, then she shouldn't find not be peaceful
But
with the 50-50 that she's doing.
But
That's what
but
I'm
clearly,
trying
we
to
that
get at.
goes back to what you mentioned earlier, that her not working but taking care of home is her working. So she's working.
But that's what I'm saying. So she shouldn't be not. She shouldn't say I'm not peaceful for you not helping me with this because that's her 50-50.
here's the thing.
That's what I'm
No, but
saying.
Cliff, you're looking at it. Okay, look, he goes to work 8 hours a day. He comes home and finds peace, right?
Hmm.
If she's a housewife, there is no 8 hours a day. It's 24 hours a day. And where does she go to find peace?
Mm-hmm.
That's why when the man, even after working, if he comes home and he can help even a little bit, not saying that
Just
he
do
has
it.
to, take on a full thing, because we know you just did 8 hours outside. We get it. But just to help a little bit, because my job doesn't end. As a matter of fact, when you come home, an extra body added on my duties.
Yeah, come on.
Now I got to take
So
care of you.
do you think that when it was like that, men 100% outside, women 100% inside, that the men still came back and was taking doing
Um,
No, and I think the women were very unhappy, and they either
Mhm.
A, never said anything. I mean, a lot of women back in the day, let's be honest, oh, my grandma and them been married 40, 50 years. Half the motherfuckers is miserable. But
Very. And
they
they
stuck
was
it
looking forward to the day for him to die. They was looking forward to him to die. You
because they
talk to
stuck
some of
it
them, they be
through.
so happy he died.
Crazy.
They stuck
Well,
it through, and they didn't
what I'm
say anything. Hold
mhm.
on, but they didn't say anything. They stuck it through, and they were miserable. And then because they were miserable, they made the man miserable. So what did the man go do? Cheat, have outside wives, have this and that. Because a lot of them people back in the day was cheating up a storm. We all know that.
Well, okay. I'm not gonna say that 100% because I don't got data on that. But I will say that if, like I said, he's working all that, he's paying all his bills and doing that stuff. That job is still like he is not just his 8 hours and then that's done. You feel me? He's still 8 hours, and then like I gotta okay, beam like my boss is this, or I'm trying to move up this way, or like, it's still work too. You know what I'm saying? He still got to do. So I'm saying he would be helping her on her 50 if he did some extra stuff. You know what I'm saying?
And
And
she's helping him because she's taking care of the household. So that's one less
but
worry
that
he
would be her
has.
50.
So
That would
he
be that's
has
what I'm
more.
saying. That's her 50 already.
But
If she would have got a
regardless,
job and started working, then she would be helping him, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
no.
did y'all see what Michelle Obama said recently in an interview, that sometimes in marriage it's not 50-50.
I knew
Sometimes
that.
in marriage it's a 70-30. There's a season where somebody's contributing 70% to the marriage, and unfortunately the other person is contributing 30. It's not because that they don't want to contribute their equal 50 or their equal 100, whatever the case may be. It's just that they have other stuff to focus on. Like prime example, imagine Michelle and Obama. There were times where Obama could not look at Malia and Sasha's homework. He's running a world. He's running a country. He don't have time to hear about what you learned about the state of Georgia today. But
That is
Michelle
true.
had to do it. Michelle had to prepare for their family to visit on holidays and do this and prepare for him to have this speech about a rose garden when he don't care about a rose garden. But she have to do it. So I don't agree that it's always going to be 100%.
No,
In all
yeah.
honesty, there's going to be seasons where unfortunately, the other person may be sick or physically unable to carry their weight in the marriage. So now there is that one person doing 100%. Does that mean that even though this person can't physically carry anything or do anything, does that mean they can't even try or attempt to do something? And if they don't, are you supposed to be frustrated with them or angry with them? Because when you stand up there and you take your vows, you say, whether you Christian, not Christian, everybody say for better or for worse, in sickness and in health. Everybody says it. So when you have that season where this person cannot contribute because of whatever is going on in their life, are you going to hold them accountable to it? Are you going to be upset with them? Are you going to say, you know, I'm going to give you grace for this season?
No, it definitely has to have grace and understanding, and it has to be whatever works for your relationship. Because no one can dictate what works or what 50-50 looks like or what 70-30. And I agree, there's going to be times where someone's going to
Yeah.
have to pull more weight and all that. But that just goes back to communication and being with someone that you can trust. But it also can't be a consistent thing, like, because then it's not a season. This is just who you are. So, like,
Yeah.
no, I completely agree.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with
Because
that. That sometimes
the
it's not to be 50-50. It's going to be a little bit more 60-40, 70-30. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I do. Well, go
So
ahead,
that's
Cassandra.
why I think what Shirley said was important. That even though, yeah, you went to work and you came home, if all you can contribute to her in her 8 hour shift or her 16 hour shift is, you know what, honey, I'll bathe the youngest. I can't bathe everybody, but I will bathe the youngest for you. At least you are taking off a load off of her. Bathe the hardest kid to bathe. Do her that favor. Bathe the
But what
hardest
load would
kid to
she be
bathe.
taking off for
Sweep up.
him
The
in
You
fact
that
know,
house,
that you came
that
home to a
housewife
clean
situation?
house, the
But that's what
fact
I'm
you
saying.
came home
That
to
would be
a
her
clean house,
50
all of them.
already. That's her 50
Oh
already.
man.
You listen. Hold on. We just went through a scenario
but we
of
just
hold
explained to
on.
you how
Stop. Let me
things
finish.
aren't truly 50-50.
Let me finish. We went through a certain scenario. He works. She doesn't. Her 50 is the house. His 50 is work. So we said, okay, if he comes home, can he help a little bit on her 50? So he's helping. I said, where? All I asked was, where would she help him? That's all I asked. That's all I asked.
But
But
that's under
why?
the
Why does she
pretext.
have to help?
Yeah,
He's
because
helping
you're
her. He's helping extra on her, right? So why can't she do it for him too?
Cliff. That's because you're looking at it as 50-50. We already established that her job never ends. So is it truly 50-50? Like, is the
Her
amount of
job is
40
the house.
hours he puts in and then her job that never ends, is it truly 50-50?
Her job
I
is
mean,
the
there's so
house.
many factors like that you can put in to say, oh, well, how is she helping? She's helping him by giving this nigga peace. Okay, that's a lot.
Her job.
That's a
And
lot.
PC, you
Job.
can't buy that.
He's
You
giving
can't
her peace by keeping a roof over her head. It's the same thing, bro. Like, what do you mean? What? Why? So she's not gonna help him extra on his shit,
She's
but he got to
helping
help
him
her extra
by
on her
having
shit.
sex with him, by doing all that, and then
So
still having.
sex with him is an extra.
Yup.
it is an extra.
Jesus
It
Christ.
is an extra. If you
Jesus
work,
Christ. Jesus Christ. Oh Lord, we are
you
doomed.
work all day.
We are
Cliff,
doomed.
Cliff, I think you're biased when it comes to. We could just be real, Cliff. You kind of biased to that stay-at-home mom
How
life.
am I
You kind
biased?
of
I just asked a
biased.
question. I just asked a simple question. He's helping her on her 50. That her responsibility is the house. He's helping her on the house by taking some of the kids' showers and doing some shit
How
like
is
that.
the
He's
kids the
helping her.
house?
All I
The
asked
kids is
was,
a whole nother
all I
category.
asked was, but what would she help him with? That's all I asked. And then y'all went down this big ass
but
rabbit hole, and now I'm biased.
but we're talking okay, but we weren't even talking about the house because that's her 50-50. We're talking about the kids. They both have kids now. She ain't the mother and the father, so he can help with his own children as well.
But that's what I'm saying. That's not even a thing because he's going to a dude would help with. They normally.
But
I
that's
think.
what
I think.
Cassandra said. Cassandra said, "Can you just
I
bathe
think
the child?"
that's an automatic, bro. That's the auto. I feel like that's an automatic. You're gonna help with
But
the
Not
kids.
for
it's
You can't just
not.
everybody, Cliff. Not for
It's
everybody.
not.
Not for
There's men
everybody,
out
Cliff.
there that don't do anything but provide. How many times your daddy
That's it.
bathed you? How many times your daddy bathed you?
Or helped you with
You're right.
homework.
You're right. He did do homework though, because he was an engineer. He wanted me to be good at math, bro. So he
Oh,
did do
okay. Okay. But there's some dads who don't even help with homework. They don't bathe them. They don't
Nothing.
even acknowledge their kids. Can we
well,
be
maybe that
real?
that's
There are
that's what I
some
was looking
dads
at
who
wrong.
just
Because
pay bills.
I was assuming that they went home, they went out and worked, and then the taking care, like doing the kids' homework or taking them a shower. I thought that was default. You know what I'm saying? So that was already.
No.
There's a lot of kids or dads that simply just provide and they don't have a relationship with their kids.
At
That's a lot
all.
of people in our generation. That's a lot of island people. That's a big
Mhm.
thing in the Haitian community. A Haitian man thinks as long as he provides and puts a roof over your head, like they
Mhm.
don't understand the emotional part that comes with
Mhm.
your and the emotional
I agree with that.
support. Like
They think it's all the woman's job to make sure that the child is emotionally stable human being, not realizing that there are emotions you learn from your father as well.
exactly.
There's 50-50 in parenting. We've only been discussing like household stuff, but what
Mm.
about a 50-50 in parenting? Am
That's
I always the only one going to the parent teacher conferences? Am I the only one taking them to the events at school? Am I the only one shopping for them to go to school? Am I the only one making sure they eat? Like, nah, there's 50-50. There's a balance in marriage.
Yeah.
agreed. And there's
I-
a lot of married people that are living single parent lives.
Come on now. And that's a
A
whole nother.
lot.
I know people who got divorced because of that.
A lot.
Yikes.
Where you
Yeah.
married basically a single parent.
Yeah. And it's his kid. Cliff, let's touch
Hmm.
that. It's not that you met her. You didn't meet this woman with this child. This the baby she pushed out for you. And they look like you. And you don't help do nothing. You don't
Yeah.
help do nothing. But on social
Uh,
media, everybody sees you post pictures of the kids and you guys look so great in your Christmas things. How little do they know mama had a breakdown trying to get these pictures together because this
Yep.
clown ain't even want to take the pictures. He
Yes.
wanted to play his video game. Come on, man.
Listen. Listen.
that's tough. I don't
It
know. I
is.
feel like here in the field then.
It's really tough being a woman. I'm not saying that because I am a woman, but it is. It's tough being a man. Granted, it's very difficult to be a man, but it is tough being a woman too, because everybody just expects you to be strong and just you got to be able to endure that. You can't murmur, you can't complain, you can't say this, that, and the fourth. In this little 2 weeks that I've been taking a break, one thing I noticed I'm gonna start doing is I'm gonna ask for help, and I'm not gonna be afraid to ask for help. If I notice I can't do it for my kids today, I can't cook, I can't wash their hair, I'm calling my mom, I'm calling their godparents. Hey, can y'all help me? I just mentally I can't do it today. Can somebody help me, please?
Mm.
Please help
Absolutely.
me. That's how people end up hurting their kids. That's how people end up hurting themselves because they really feel like I cannot ask for help. I can't. There's nobody to ask for. I'm gonna be weak if I ask for help.
Yeah, it's tough.
Absolutely.
That's tough.
100% agree. Yeah, you also gotta like just not care. Like you gotta just do what's best for you and your family and not care what other people think. Like to be honest, that's how I'm gonna do what makes me and my family happy and what works for me and my family. That's it.
Amen. Amen.
I agree.
Cause I don't care about you. Ain't you don't come home and lay up next to my husband or deal with my kids. I don't care. Like I'm gonna do what I.
Exactly.
All
Yep.
right.
So yes,
On
she
that
taking
note,
the trip and
on that note, I'm gonna get into the second icebreaker question. Y'all
Okay.
let me know when y'all see the screen.
yes, we see the screen.
See it? All right.
Yeah, I see it.
Every standards, what y'all call cheating is the thing y'all do to y'all man every day and don't even think about it. Emotionally cheating, a work husband. Tell your family everything about your boyfriend and your husband and don't care about how it make him feel if they get back, right? Talk down to him to your kids. Y'all say at the same point that sex to men is what attention is to women, but then when we say why you out here dressing scantily, right? Y'all say it's because it make you feel better, but we know you dress like that to get men's attention. I had women argue me down on other panels saying, oh, when I go out with my man, I should be able to dress like this and that, right? To put your man in a situation, because no matter what y'all say, it's whether you with a man or not. If you dressing like that, you looking for other people's attention. What is this? Like I said, is this, are we conditioning? Are we going out by women?
All right. So I'm gonna put the question up. Is sex to men similar to attention for women?
What you said? Sex? Is it the same?
Sex is it similar or equivalent to attention for women?
Like the importance of sex to a man is
Yeah.
that how important attention is to a woman.
Mhm.
there's a lot of things that that man said in that video that I feel like
Mm-hmm.
could be unpacked.
Yeah.
I mean, we
Yes.
can go through and unpack it if you remember the points that you want to tackle.
Let's tackle that first point about we dress sexy because we want somebody to look at us.
Okay, what's up? What's up with it?
I think it's based off of the particular woman you're talking about. Going back to, I wish y'all could see my face. I'm gonna turn on the camera in a second. Going back to what Cliff don't like me to blame, society. Society has painted a picture that it is okay for a woman to be outside with absolutely no clothes on, and it is like that is what people want to look at her. That's how she should carry herself. We have a lot of examples of that now. Now, if I wear really nice shorts, because I love to wear shorts, and I am still a woman of God, but I love shorts. I'm not doing that because I want somebody to look at me. I'm doing it because I think I have nice legs, and I like to show my nice legs.
But I think there's a difference between the way you dress, Cassandra, like in the shorts that you wear. You're not wearing
He
shorts where your
talking
butt
about coochie
isn't
cutters,
hanging
but yeah, he
out.
talking about them
Like,
coochie cutters,
I
bro.
think
Oh,
that
okay,
you're going to
That's
okay,
that
different.
extreme.
okay.
I agree the way that like we carry ourselves, we dress like that for ourselves because that's what we want. But we're not ones that are out there seeking attention. I do think women
Yeah.
are there are some out there seeking attention. I
Mhm.
honestly think we dress the way our parents dressed us. Didn't we have this
Mhm.
conversation before? So to me, it all goes back to like parenting. Like everything
Mhm.
always goes back to parenting. Like
You think
Mhm.
them
I
girls with
never
coochie
was
cutters,
dressed.
their parents dressed them with coochie cutters, bro?
They
No, but
seen their
their
mama
parents
dress like
probably
it.
wore just coochie cutters. My mama ain't never wear no coochie cutters in her life.
My mama did.
Never
Mom,
worn.
I need to show y'all some of them pictures from Donette in her good 30s. Hey, whew. My
So I
mom
mean,
dressed like a video vixen.
I never witnessed any of the women in my family dressing like that. Maybe my older sister was the only one, but she was like the rebel.
But what I'm saying is, I'm saying no parents dressing their kids in coochie cutters, but the kids
I
is
No.
like
know.
the
When I
coochie
say not only dressing them, but like what they witnessed the adults in their lives wearing, I'm sure they saw their mothers wearing crop tops and coochie cutters, or their aunties, or this or that. So they seen it. Like it's accepted.
Mhm. Mhm.
So um, I forgot what I was about to say, Sean.
I think our group of friends do dress pretty modest. If I can say so, we dress pretty modest. Like if we go outside, we ain't showing all of that. Like
So I definitely think there's a different caliber, not caliber, or like crowd of women that he's speaking to. I don't think that applies to a lot. I mean, why I'm not going to say a lot or majority because I don't
cutters.
know, but I
Right.
don't think it applies to women like us because everything he said, I was like, I don't do that. I don't do that. Like, I don't do that. So, and none of my friends do that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But so for me to answer that question, because I don't do that and I don't go out and seek attention from people, I'm actually quite opposite. I don't like attention on me at all. So I don't for I guess to me my answer would be no to this
Well,
question.
take it off of you and put it into what you've experienced from going to college, looking around girls, looking in the clubs. What do you think on the from that picture? What can you ascertain from the majority? Don't put it on
Yeah,
you
I
and make
think
it personal.
majority of women do things for attention. Whether yeah, I do think you dress a certain way or you do your hair a certain way or you put certain makeup, but I think that's everybody. I think men dress a certain way and do all that for attention too. Like we all come out
yep.
separate because we don't want to be the one looking raggedy. Like so I think everybody does it for attention. A man is gonna put on his nice watch and nice cologne and all that for attention.
Okay,
Like
but the question is sex to men similar or equivalent to attention for women? Is that the same thing?
Oh, now I understand the question. Um,
Do men
child, I was
because
completely
men
off.
because men if we like let's say we you like you said we do dress and then get fly and shit like that for attention to get sex because sex is very very important to us. But is the
Mm.
sex and for us, that is that important is the attention for girls. Because you get a girl and she'll look nice, you know what I'm saying? And she'll just curve dudes all day, but she's got that attention, you know what I'm saying? And because she's just getting all that attention, she probably is she feeding off of that, bro?
I think girls. I think is sex to men similar equivalent to attention for women. I think sex to men is similar equivalent to relationships for women. Because I think women do all this to get attention from a man for a relationship. I think women just want to be in relationships.
I
Yep.
think you speak for you and your
Yep.
group, bro. I think you speaking for you
Yep.
and your
No, no, no. Y'all can say whatever y'all want. Y'all
girls
think
want relationships like that, bro.
Y'all think Carisha didn't feel no kind of way when she saw Diddy, even if she knew Diddy had somebody else coming. Y'all don't think she want a relationship? I think everybody want to be wanted by somebody.
Yeah. 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 And I think women,
That is true.
yes,
That's
they dress a certain way or do all this stuff to get attention from man, but ultimately they want a relationship from that man. They don't want to sit there and just be having sex all the time with that man because they can have sex with any man. They like that man. They want to be with that man. Like that's what they want. They want a relationship. I don't think it's an attention thing. So I think, yeah, that's my answer to that question. I think you should change attention to relationships. Then the answer would be yes.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. Yeah, I do think attention for women is definitely I think they get a high off it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like niggas when they catch a nut, you get that the good shiver down the spine, bitch. But for women, bro, I think like if they a pretty girl and they getting a lot of attention or a lot of people coming at them, like for them it's like, oh, beam, I'm the hot shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm Gucci. You know what I'm saying? I can have any one of these niggas type shit. I feel like it's a very
But I feel like it would do the same for a man. It boosts your confidence for anybody if you're getting a lot of attention from the opposite sex, or even from just getting compliments in general. It boosts your confidence. So
but the
who
man,
doesn't want their
what I'm saying.
confidence boosted?
But it's not about the confidence boost. Look at the question. Is sex to men? So the actual physical act. A man will take the sex than the attention. He don't want the attention. You know what I'm saying? He wants the sex.
Now some of
So
these
yeah,
men want attention,
compliments would
Cliff.
be
They
good.
they
The
worse
compliments
than the
would be good,
women.
whatever. But I would rather
They
have the
worse
sex.
than women.
And I agree with you, but what I'm saying is women want the relationship more than the attention. That's what I'm saying. So that's why I don't agree with this question. That's why I said I feel like if this question said if it was equivalent to relationships for women, then I would say yes. But women would take a relationship over the attention, just like a man would take the sex, because the end goal for the man is sex. I'm saying the end goal for the woman is a relationship, not the
But the
attention.
man
The
doesn't need
attention is a
attention.
stepping stone.
What I'm
The
saying
man
is
does need
attention.
attention to get the
He
sex.
doesn't need
That's why y'all
attention.
do the things y'all do. Y'all, that's what y'all
He
do.
don't
That's
do
why
it.
y'all dress a certain way.
He
Y'all
wants the
drive a
sex,
certain car.
bro. That's it. But you're making it about us. You're making it about. Listen. You're making it about attention, bro. It's not about attention. It's about sex and attention for a woman. Is sex for a man equal to attention for a woman? Not that OB. Yes, we
No,
both get attention, bro. We both get attention. We both like attention. Is sex the same as attention for a woman? That's
I
all it is
said,
saying, bro.
how many times I gotta say it? I said no. It's the same
Okay,
as a
D.
relationship, not the
No,
attention.
that's not the question. That's not the question, bro.
But why
That's
I
not the
answered the question. But I answered
because
the
then I could
question.
see, oh no, sex is not the same. They want the house. I could make it anything. It's stick to the
No,
question,
that's
bro.
not true, though. That's not true because it has to be equivalent
Then
to
say
the
no. Okay,
info.
no, it's not.
Sandra, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. I do.
I get what you're saying too. They would rather a relationship. Yes, I get what you're saying, but that is not the question.
I answered the
So
question.
if we answer your question directly, no, it's not the same. It's not the same.
We can't have no explanation.
No,
I
because
answered and gave an explanation to my answer, why I answered that way. And you got a problem with my explanation.
oh man,
Cliff said, "Can
yes,
y'all
all
just
right.
answer the
They
question,
would rather a
please?"
relationship. They would rather a relationship than attention, of course. All right. All right. Next, we go into question number one. Yeah, let me know when y'all see it.
We watching another video?
Yeah, it's all videos. Right.
Yeah, writing a contract with himself going into the off season. Yo, this is the contract. This is the workout. This is what I'm doing. And he had the contract, so he couldn't negotiate with himself when it gets to man, I don't feel like to go, going to the gym. And you can start doing the mental conversation and coming up with all the good reasons why
He really did
deserve not to do it. Yeah, why you deserve not to do it? Nah, you know what? I could because I was late, or you know what, the family, or this. Nope. Contract said you was doing this. Contract said this was the plan going into the summer. That's what the contract said. And so we're not willing to give contracts to ourselves and have non-negotiables for ourselves and have protocols for ourselves. And we're not willing to master ourselves, but we want to rule everybody else, right? Because we have this understanding that rules and regulations and restrictions restrict our freedom, when in fact rules, regulations, and boundaries and restrictions give us more freedom. People who have the most boundaries and restrictions about.
All right. I'm gonna remove that one again.
You're
And
muted, Andrew.
I'm gonna ask the
You're
question.
muted.
Oh, sorry. Run that one again, Cliff. I didn't understand what he was talking about. Sometimes they get on the podcast, they just be, oh my God, they be, what's that? Kevin
Okay.
Samuel in it.
So context is he's talking about a contract with his contract that Kobe made with himself on the off season. So I'm gonna run it back.
Okay.
Oh, so he's saying, oh, I get it.
Do we need
That you make
Kobe
contracts
made a
and
contract with himself, and then he made sure he don't break the contract, and then so I'm gonna play it again, run it.
we need to make contracts with ourselves and hold ourselves
So
accountable.
writing a contract with himself going into the off season. Yo, this is the contract. This is the workout. This is what I'm doing. And he had the contract, so he couldn't negotiate with himself when it gets to man, I don't feel like to go, going to the gym. And you can start doing the mental conversation and coming up with all the good reasons why
he really did
deserve not to do it. Yeah, why you deserve not to do it? Nah, you know what? I could because I was late, or you know what, the family, or this. Nope. Contract said you was doing this. Contract said this was the plan going into the summer. That's what the contract said. And so we're not willing to give contracts to ourselves and have non-negotiables for ourselves, have protocols for ourselves. And we're not willing to master ourselves, but we want to rule everybody else, right? Because we have this understanding that rules and regulations and restrictions restrict our freedom, when in fact rules, regulations, and boundaries and restrictions give us more freedom. People who have the most boundaries and restrictions about.
All right, we got it now. Do we got
Yeah,
it
I got
now?
it. I got it. I got it.
All right, so the question is, give me a second.
Well, I'm hungry.
Right. Should we create contracts with ourselves in our lives? Anybody
Absolutely.
jump on?
Absolutely. And you should hold yourself accountable, because these jobs put us on these contracts and we be like, if we do this or do that, we're not going to get that check, or we can lose this job, this and that. So we make sure we're on our best behavior. But let you work for a job that don't mind if you're late here and there, that doesn't mind this and that, you're going to take advantage. So we are conditioned to follow rules. We are conditioned to follow rules, regulations, and boundaries, and have consequences when we do not follow such rules. And we perform better in environments that provide that structure. That's just as human. So I do think we should create that structure and those same rules and boundaries for our personal lives, because then maybe we'll be more successful. I know, like, a lot of people at the end of the year, they'll do like their yearly goals, but they actually, hold themselves accountable by maybe creating a vision board or something like that. And by the end of the year, doggone it, they're going to accomplish all their goals because they put themselves on a contract. I agree a whole 100%.
I think the Bible says write the vision and make it plain. So even the Bible tells you to, if you have a vision, a purpose, or plan or something, you got to write it down and keep it before you. The more you keep it before you, the more you're reminded of it, the more you're like, okay, If I said I was going to do this by this age, even though I have situations and circumstances that may have come that may have prevented me from actually getting it done on time, I'm still going to go towards the goal. I think that's what a lot of slackers, they never ever make a contract. They don't make plans. People who are
Mhm.
procrastinators, they're comfortable in being a procrastinator, and they feel like you're judging them when you're like, but you said you was gonna do this today. Well, I wasn't in the mood. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. But it's like this is a normal goal and behavior of yours. Like you need to. Excuse me, guys. Yeah, your mommy's crying. Yes, but your father's out there. Bye, Levi. Get out. Hmm. Sorry, you guys. The I believe when you set the contract, you're setting a plan for yourself, and you're like, okay, in this year I want to accomplish this. This year I want to get this done. This year I want to do this. There should be nothing wrong with setting a plan, and then have a backup plan too, because a lot of times plan A don't work. Plan B is sometimes plan C that works. I
Yeah.
do agree. We should do low key. I think I might do that this year since we are towards the end of the year, and I don't know. I don't
Mhm.
really focus on Christmas that much, but I do be focusing on the new year, like what I need to accomplish. So I might do that. I might write a contract for myself this year and be like, "You're gonna accomplish this. You're gonna get this done. You're going to do this." That's actually a good idea.
Yeah. I
I
wrote
mean,
on like
I got
my
yeah, yeah. Me and Shirley, I think last year, I think I sat down with her, me and her. I said, okay, let's go ahead and put like goals that we want to do for accomplish this year, dog. So I think both of us pretty much knocked out majority of them. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So, but me personally, I'm a serial like procrastinator, dog. Like Andy was saying, the procrastinating people, oh, they wasn't accomplishing their goals. Like I was exactly that, bro. Until I started like writing down my goals, like this last couple years, like I was really like knocking things out. You know what I'm saying? Like once I wrote it down and then had it set, everything was like starting to make. I was starting to move towards those goals. Like just because I saw them, like not even every day, but like from time to time, I'll look at the goals list or something, like that, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm still supposed to be focused on this. So like
Yeah.
just for the fact that I wrote it down and I was like, okay, beam, I'm gonna make steps towards it, and I accomplished a lot of things. You feel me? These last 2 years, and I got like 5 year goals, I got 10 year goals, so I got things that I'm still trying to, you feel me, accomplish. And just because I wrote them things down, that's, you feel me, I think that's, I'm definitely gonna accomplish.
I agree. And like what was it the other day? Cliff came in the room and I had like my agenda for the year, and on the back I had like my goals for the year that I wanted to accomplish. And I was like going off, I was like, oh my God, like I literally accomplished all of these or whatever. So that definitely, having it visible definitely plays a part and helps. And I think we should all create, yeah. I definitely think that's a great idea. The contract thing.
Mm-hmm.
We, again, humans like structure. We operate better in societies with rules and behaviors. That's why society is the way it is. That's why we have laws of the land. That's, I mean, like, we need structure. We need rules. We need
Yep.
boundaries.
That's the
Yep.
part I agree with the most, bro. He said, he think people think, oh, no rules is freedom, bro, but like it's actually when you set the actual rules when you free. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what you can't do. You know what I'm saying? So if I know what I can't
Hmm.
do, everything else is, you know what I'm saying, is free. You know what I'm saying? Like I know, okay, beam, I can't, like this is, I'm gonna put a relationship wise, like my wife, okay, this is her boundary. You know what I'm saying? I know, okay, beam, that's a rule. Hey, she don't like this, beam. So now everything else is fair. You know what I'm saying? I'm free to do everything else except for that. You know what I'm saying? So it's so much freedom in it. But if you don't set no rules and you think everything's willy nilly, you might be stepping on somebody's boundary. You know what I'm saying? And not even knowing it.
Hmm.
I think it just maximizes your potential when you have rules and regulations, because it just makes you focus more and you're in a structured environment. Like think about when you, like for instance, growing up as a kid, I used to always hate my mom because I used to think she was too strict, she was too that, this and this. And then my neighbors, they could do whatever they want. But then like, not to like say I'm better than anybody or anything, but as I'm older, where I am in life, and then the way my mentality and mindset is totally different from there. So I thank God my mom gave me that structure and she was strict, because it kept kept me focused on, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, and I do feel like even back then I felt like I didn't have the freedom, but now I feel like I have the freedom to do whatever I want. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, so I yeah. Yeah, I agree with him on that. I do think people think no rules, no anarchy. They're trying to strip away my rights and all this stuff, but it
Yeah,
actually, yeah, makes you better, I
keeping you more
guess.
free, man. More
Yeah.
free.
Yeah. Yeah, we all need the structure. We all need some kind of guard, some kind of boundary to stay within so that you can accomplish what you need to accomplish. All it is, oh, you can't tell me who I can and can't do this, and you can't. It's like those be the people who be the most depressed, most like unhinged people because they feel like I could just do whatever I want whenever I want. And it's like, my God.
Structure and goal setting leads to you accomplishing goals. If you don't have
Accomplishing,
no
yeah.
goals, you're not, what are you doing? You're not accomplishing. What are you accomplishing if you don't have any goals? If you're
The leap
just,
of
Yeah.
the wind, dude, just going wherever it go.
I
yeah,
I think some people mistake setting goals for getting validation from others. So they feel like, okay, if I get this many likes on Instagram, if I get this many people to follow me, if I can get this sponsor to do this, that, and the fourth, then I'm living life. And it's like, okay, I'm not against social media influencing. I think it's really dope. I think all the industries that they're creating for it is like really cool. They even have like social media law now. You have attorneys who can represent them and accountants who can represent them and education and books, all this different stuff. However, I believe that when we get so caught up in somebody telling me that I did a great job in giving me a golden star is the way that I should live my life. When those golden stars stop, are you still going to be able to function as everyone else is functioning because you're no longer
Mhm.
getting validation? Your goals, the contract you're writing with yourself should have nothing to do with what anybody else except your God says about you. Period.
absolutely.
So if your goal is um I want I want to become I want to become viral, or I want to become a trend. It's like, okay, now this is going back to validation. Is this a real goal, or is this a whole validation thing? Like, that's not a goal. I'm pretty sure Kobe seemed like a very structured individual, and I guess now that he's deceased, we're starting
Very.
to learn that he was very structured. Um
Mhm.
but almost to the point where some people like you doing too much. But then from what I heard, Michael was very structured. And I mean, he was a gambler and stuff, but there's stuff Michael, he was
Oh
he
yeah,
was a
Michael was
gambler.
saying.
He was a big
Kobe
gambler.
looked up to Michael.
Yeah.
Kobe looked up to Michael. He got all the structure from Michael. He didn't do
Yeah.
all the gambling shit, but he got all the structure from Michael Jordan.
I think LeBron is
Very
even structured. It looks like in that
strong
industry, if you
structure
want to
too.
make it,
You gotta
you
be. You
gotta
gotta
be
be. Yeah.
structured, or you gonna be
You have to be
Devontae
structured
West.
to be the best. Yes, you got to be structured to be the best.
I
Got to
think in
in
any
everything.
industry, you got to be
Yeah.
structured
Yep.
to be the best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no way the CEO of our companies became the CEO from drinking and smoking every
And
single day of
hanging
his
out and
life
doing all
and
that
not
shit. Yeah.
setting goals.
No, he had a
There's
plan.
no
He wrote
way.
it down. He said, I'm gonna take my step, one step every day. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Towards this. You know what I'm saying? And I got there.
Back to what Cassandra was saying about making sure you're doing it for yourself and not validation for others. I think that's so important because if you live for compliments, you're gonna die by criticism.
Whew.
That means you just
Repeat that. Repeat that.
if you live for compliments, you're gonna die by criticism because
Whew.
like you just care so much about what other people think that if they do start to say negative things, that's gonna kill you because you're not gonna just get positive all the time. You're gonna get those that don't like it. So it's best to just do what's best for you and not worry about anybody else because everyone's always going to have an opinion. Like, oh,
Always.
You got
Your
to validate
opinion of me
yourself.
is not my
You got
opinion.
to wake
Is
up
my
and
not my
validate yourself
business.
every morning.
yes, you
Yeah.
got to be able to be self motivated. Absolutely.
I
I
think
mean,
those are some of the most successful people in the world. They are they don't care. Look at Elon Musk. He don't care how many
yeah,
y'all leave Twitter. I'm still gonna be a billionaire. Whether you leave
Mm-hmm.
or you join, I'm gonna be a billionaire. That's fine.
Yeah.
And Twitter could fail and he will have another Tesla. He will have another Twitter. He set his mind on the goals he wanted to set, whether
And
it
he get
he get them. However he get them, but he get them.
I think that is what just is the distinction between a leader and a follower. A leader doesn't care about what people think or say. They have something set in their mind. They know their purpose. They know what they're doing it for, and they understand that criticism is going to come with it, and they're okay with that because they know the end result. A follower, and the reason why they're a follower and not a leader is because they just want to follow what the masses are doing. They don't want to shake nothing up. They don't want nobody to talk about them. They just want to do what everybody else is doing. So to me, like that's what makes the difference between a leader and a follower. If you're someone that truly is gonna, march to the beat of your own drum and not care about what other people think, that's a leader. And majority of society are followers.
Because they afraid of
can you
the
think somebody
cancel
can go from
culture.
can you think somebody can go from follower to leader?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to come out of the environment of trying to be a follower or being a follower. You got to come out of that environment. You got to come out of that yes man environment where people are like, you got to do what I say and not as I do, or don't have your own mind. Don't go off on your own. If you come out of those environments, you will see a bigger picture. Prime example, today in church, like the guest speaker we had, she was talking about mindsets. Just a little bit of her message was about mindsets. Well, that's what I got from it, right? Some of us were brought up in a structure of, like Shirley mentioned earlier, go to school, get good grades, go to college, get a good job, get married, have kids, this, that, and the fourth. So that's just the mindset and the structure we have. Most of our friends grew up in that same mindset. But then we have other people we know that we may communicate with, we work with, or we know in passing who grew up in a totally different mindset, totally different atmosphere where everything about them was be the latest greatest. They had the latest greatest Jordans growing up. They had all the cell phones. Their parents had the cars and all those things. And unfortunately, a lot of those people are struggling today because everything to them was, what does someone else say and think about me? That is who I need to be. All the popular girls I know growing up, not saying they're still not pretty. They're still pretty and stuff, but they ain't nowhere near where I thought they was going to be. Not like I could say their name, but I never know if they're gonna watch this podcast. So I'm
No
never gonna
names.
say. I ain't no name, no face, no case,
Ain't
right?
that how the world works, man?
Yeah, I ain't
Ain't
gonna
that how
say
the
their
world
names,
works?
but you see them, and I was like, man, this girl had everything in
You used to be
elementary
the
school.
shit.
Yeah, you was the ass, and that's all you do with your life, girl. You on baby daddy number 3? I can't. And I know people are gonna get offended that I said it, but it's just the God honest truth. It's like, dang, you went through all of that and you were always validated. You were always the number one cheerleader. You were always this, you were always that. And this is all you did with your life. This is all you did.
Yeah.
But then you have the nerds. Y'all go back and look at the nerds you went to school with, the ones that nobody really wanted to date, the musky
It's successful
girls.
because
Y'all know the musky
focused.
girls. They were
They was
so
focused.
focused, they were laser focused. And look at what they doing now. Because I
The
I
thing that
chose
they
not
were
to be a
focused on.
follower. Child.
Just like all them little thick girls in high school. Where are they now? They
Mm.
way thicker than a snicker now.
They look like circles, man.
Like
A bunch of
100
circles
grand
now,
bars.
man.
Like, my God. All of that validation, all of that people telling you this, you that. And when you go home, you don't even believe what those things say. You don't even believe that about yourself. Like, you don't even believe that about yourself. You don't see no value in yourself or nothing. Like, I think before you even do a contract this year, and this is for the listeners as well, make sure you go back and you analyze, what do I think about myself? How do I see myself? Right? Am I
Who am I?
looking at myself from the viewpoint or the glasses of someone else? So I'm giving myself unreasonable expectations for this year. I'm trying to catch up or be the Joneses. Or am I saying, okay, I'm not at that season yet, I'll get there. This year, I'm just going to focus on jumping over this hurdle or jumping over this bridge or accomplishing this goal and being okay with it. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I
gonna
agree
work
with
on
that.
that. Before I work on my contract, I'm gonna be like, bruh, are you gonna do the same thing you did last year? Or are you actually gonna work? Because I'm in my closet right now. I have my vision board on my closet. I think I only accomplished two things. I think I only accomplished two things off of the vision
That's
board.
another thing though. I think people, because that's a thing that I did early on when I was doing my like goals and missions and stuff like that, trying these things out. One thing I was like, if I accomplished everything on that board, I was like, oh, it was a failed year. But if you even accomplish one or two, you know what I'm saying, it's still it's a progress
Yeah,
year, dog, you know what I'm saying? Because something got accomplished and you knock
yeah,
something
you're
off.
right.
You feel me? I used to look at it, oh, if it ain't all, it's nothing, you know what I'm saying? But it's still something. You feel me? You still, even if it was just one thing, you still took a step forward towards the final goal of your shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah,
still a progress.
Just let you know what else you need to continue to work on. That's all.
yeah.
Maybe
But
Yeah.
that's
next year you put, okay,
mindset.
I need to follow through. You know what I'm saying? And then
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's mindset. I think you guys take the time um to work on your mindset, to figure out, okay, who am I? Who am I? Because therapy, obviously, that's one of the main questions in therapy. Who are
Yeah.
you? Who
That
do
was
you
my
want to be?
first question.
Yeah.
That was the first question my therapist, she made me write. She was like, "Who are you?" And then I had to write. And some like she was like, "Do you see how you started off the answer to the question?" And I was like, "Yeah, what's the problem?" She's like, "You started it off from the perspective of someone else describing you."
Mm,
She was like, "Why are you defining yourself based off someone else's description?"
mm,
Like, what is your description of yourself? Who are you to you? And I was like, whoa, that was like, because I was like describing myself on like all my titles. I'm an educator.
mm-hmm.
I'm a, and she was like, but why are you using it from the lenses of someone else? Is it that important what other people think about you? Are other people
and
defining
are your
who you
titles
are?
even who you are? Are
Yeah,
your
and are the
titles even who you
titles, if your titles get stripped away, who are you?
Whew.
are? Real
Yeah, that was
question.
like session one. I was like, "Oh Lord, I'm gonna keep her, child. I'm gonna keep
Did you
her."
cry? It make you cry though, because
Yeah,
it's
because
like,
you have real intense conversations with yourself, and you have to take a step back and look at yourself, and like that's tough to define who you are without titles, and then from not perspectives of what other people think about you, just you and what you think about you. You peel back some layers there.
Yeah, my
layers that
therapist,
you
how he
haven't
started off
dealt
with
with.
me, my first session, my therapist was pretty much like if when everything is done, you feel me? How do you want to see yourself? Or how do you what kind of person will you be when everything is done? And then I had to describe, you feel me, all the ideal person that I wanted to be from that, and from there, he knew how to, okay, being you, this is where you want to go. So these are what we need to accomplish or tackle. You know what I'm saying? This is you ain't doing this right or not doing this right, but you have this or have that, or we talk in conversations. So I think he started from a lens of building the person that you want to be, and then working from there, and then with small steps.
Therapy is just so important, man. Like it's
It
just
is very much.
Yeah.
I'm really happy that people are starting to realize the importance of therapy, and we're walking away from that stigma of like you crazy if you go to
I think it's
therapy.
black people realizing it, bro. Because I think
Yeah,
white people was always influenced. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Yeah,
black
your
people
your
just starting.
your CEOs, all of them go to therapy. All of them.
yeah,
Yeah.
Your VPs, all of them got to go to therapy to stand before the highest courts.
Mhm.
All of them have to go to therapy, or they're not going to be able to present themselves as their truest self. You
yeah.
know. Now, sometimes some therapists are a little bit extreme and a little bit ridiculous, but for the most part, I think going to therapy is really going to heal us as a people. Jesus in therapy will really heal us as a people. But I get it. Sometimes with the going to therapy, it's just like, man, I'm gonna have to deal with those things that I don't talk to people about. I don't tell people about the things that I thought I've overcome. I'm gonna have to bring that up now. And I don't know if I'm willing. Some people are stagnant. That was another thing we talked about in church. Some people are stagnant or where they are because they were molested. There are people who still have not told their mothers or their fathers that, hey, your brother raped me since I was 12. And that's why I can't function in my marriage. That's why I can't have a decent sex life, because I was molested. So I don't understand how to. There are people who have not talked about those things. So those demons hold and grasp their life. They haven't lived full lives. They can do everything else. They could put on, they could show up for work, they could be great moms and dads. But when it comes to that one area that they have not revealed to people, they're struggling in it. So
Yeah. And I think a lot of people suppress certain traumas and feel like it doesn't affect them because they're not constantly thinking about it because they suppress the memory, but it still affects you on your day-to-day life. And you have to, and I think therapy helps you come to the realization because it helps you find out the source of your problems. Like, why am I operating this way? What happened? Or why am I looking at the world in this view light? Like, what happened? So by identifying the source of your problems, it forces you to deal with those issues because again, people suppress them to in order to continue to function and deal with the trauma. A lot of people just suppress it and ignore it and act like it didn't happen
mm-hmm,
or that it doesn't affect who they are.
mm-hmm.
In actuality, everything that happened in our lives, every experience molds and affects us some way, somehow. It's just being self-aware and knowing like what effect it has on us and then working towards bettering it.
That's interesting. You said your problem. You know, some people don't think they have problems. There are legit people who don't think that
A
they
lot of
have a
people,
problem
actually.
because they think like, oh, it happened to my mom, it happened to my dad, so it's normal. Honey, that is not normal. That is not normal to not be able to function. That is not normal. That
Yeah.
is not normal that in order for you to make it through the day, you have to drink a whole bottle of red wine. That is, I don't care how much you like red wine. That is not normal. It
Yeah.
is not normal that in order for me to get through with this marriage, I have to sleep with other people to be able to release or give this person that's not normal. That's not. So that's the first step. Identifying that everybody got a problem. Nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
Everybody working through something.
And the more you talk about it, the more you're not even like shaming that I ain't got no problem telling people my problems now.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm aware. Yes, I do this. Yes, I'm working on it. I'm
Yeah.
working on it.
But as I'm saying, it made you more free because you
Yeah.
Hmm.
knew, okay, they can't hold this against me no more. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
something I overcame. You know what I'm saying? I'm done with. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
good. Like you can't use it on me no more.
Yeah. Because people
Yep.
could when you know that you're when you deal with anger, or rage. Like I used to deal with rage. So when people would make comments like, "Oh, you better calm down because you never know how she's gonna blow up," I would feel
Mhm.
so ashamed because it was like, man, I really can't handle conversations like that. I really can't because I might blow up and I might hurt somebody. But now when somebody says that, I'm like, you talking about the old me. That really got nothing to do with
Yeah.
me. Maybe that sounds like it's a you problem, and maybe you're ashamed to deal with your rage, but I dealt with mine, so I'm free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. Um, well, on that note, I'm gonna go into the final video and the last couple of questions. All right. Let me know when y'all see it.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna run play.
Think that things will work out well. Because if it works like that in business, I can't imagine it not working in personal relationships. I didn't do that. I wish I did. That's why I'm twice divorced now. I wish I had set that stuff up in place, but I just thought it was supposed to work. Go to pray and be happy and have sex and it'll all work out. I didn't plan my marriage. I planned my wedding. I had a cold wedding. That was
Damn.
cold blooded, boy. You should see the photos. But my marriage, I had no plan for that. So if you plan your vision, you can have fuck the vision. If you plan what you're gonna do, all the little details, I don't think you'll have to worry about anybody fucking up anything. And if they do, you plan for that already.
And that's the acceptance. That's a fact.
So,
All right. So
Dang.
do y'all
That
get
man
the
said he's
concept
twice
of that?
divorced.
Twice divorced. So pretty much the question is going to be: should you go into a relationship with a plan? Because what he was pretty much describing is people relation. Well, I'm not going to finish saying it, but pretty much he's saying he didn't go into his two relationships with a plan, so they failed because maybe they was just going through the motions. You married to get married, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. So should we go into a relationship with a plan or a marriage or whatever?
Dang.
I like when he said we plan for a wedding, but we don't plan for a
It's
marriage.
so true.
It is very true. And I think um we don't plan for a marriage because we don't know what a healthy marriage looks like. So what are we planning for?
Mm.
I think if we had the knowledge or the background or the representation of what a healthy marriage is, then we could draft up a plan and go about things differently. But let's be honest, we're learning as we go, because from where we come from or our experiences, we just didn't have that representation. So for me, I completely agree. We plan for a wedding because I've been to plenty of weddings. I know how they look.
Plenty, plenty.
I know how I want mine to look, but that's where it ends. After the wedding, you don't know what's going on in that person's marriage following the wedding. Like all you see is the beautiful bliss, the glitz, the glam. So I think I agree with him. I could, and then a lot of marriages do fail because people don't know how to be in relationships. A lot of relationships in general fail because people don't know how to operate and love each other. We know how to be selfish and love ourselves, or hell, some
Mm-hmm.
people don't even love themselves. So that's another thing, right? So like, I think my kids can go into a marriage with a plan. I don't think I had that opportunity.
That's the key right there. That's what we was talking about earlier. If I'm going to break cycles, I'm going to break in this marriage, I'm going to break cycles. I may not have accomplished it on this side with my marriage, but when it comes to my kids, Shalom, Shabbat, Naomi, and Levi, oh, they're going to have 4 healthy marriages. They're going to have a healthy home. They're going to be able to look at stuff before they do it and make decisions before they just randomly do stuff. I don't think I walked in, I mean, as much as I was in the church and all those different things, I don't even think me and my husband had a plan for marriage. He had one idea of marriage because his parents were married and they stayed married until he became an adult, and then they got a divorce when Shalom came in the picture. So the weekend we had Shalom, his parents just finalized their divorce after 20 something years of marriage, and they are nasty to each other. They are nasty. I know they'll never watch this, so thank God. But they are nasty. They don't communicate with each other. And one thing we did learn in that is not to take advice from them. If we could be real, I don't take marriage advice from my mom. I don't take marriage advice from my mother-in-law, from my father-in-law. I don't even take a lot of marriage advice from none of the adults in my life. I just don't, unless I've met them in a certain state or I have had a view or some kind of viewpoint into their marriage. I really don't take marriage advice from a lot of people. One, because I realize my marriage is different. It's not always going to mirror your marriage. Certain things that you guys were okay with allowing in your marriage, it's an absolute no in mine. And some things that I allow in my marriage is an absolute no for you. So I can't mirror anybody's marriage. But I do know that as long as you guys sit down together and create the plan and be like, okay, we failed at this, how can we overcome it together? You'll be just fine. You will be just fine.
Yeah.
I mean, February make 10 years I've been married. 10 years. I think out of the 10 years, it is good, but if I could be honest, out of the 10 years I've been married, maybe 7 of them I was happily married. Maybe 7. And maybe 6 of them I understood the purpose behind marriage. So everything is yes, Levi. Okay. Sorry. You potty training, so you gotta celebrate the small wins. The out of those years, I think now we're starting to come to the fact where we learn each other and we're comfortable. And now we're starting to plan more. Like, okay, this year, what goals do you have for yourself, Rodlin? This year, these are the goals I have for myself. This is the goals we have for our family. This is the goals we have for Shalom. This is the goals because every child is different. You can't put them all in the same category. This is the goals we have for Shava. These are the goals we have for business. These are the goals we have with our relationship with God. We have different goals for everything. Now, granted, we don't discuss all of them, but we're trying to get better at planning. And for the marriage, if I could say this without going off topic, I think a lot of people need to sit back like him. I'm glad he took the first step in admitting he didn't plan, but I also think he needs to take well, I don't know him. I don't know him, but hopefully before he goes and gets married a third time, because he looked like he believe in love.
No, he said he
Hopefully,
want to get married again, man.
oh, he said he'll never get married again.
No, he said he wants to again.
See, I was right. He looked like somebody who believe in love.
Yeah.
So before he do it again, hopefully he can find the common denominator of what was causing all of them divorces. It wasn't just planning. It wasn't just a lack of planning. For somebody to be divorced 2 times, bro,
He 50 though. He 50 some years old. So
but that means the other one, the last divorce is probably fairly recent.
oh, I don't know the timelines of them. I don't know the timelines of them. I just know two-time divorce, I guess.
But either way, that's none of my business. But yeah, we should.
Yeah.
I that's another thing I'm practicing: studying to be quiet and minding my own business. Because even though he shared that, I'll take the meat and throw away the bones. Yes, you should be planning for
They say to be curious, not judgmental. So
yeah.
Why would you have 2 divorces besides the plan? What other problems could there have been?
Yeah.
Be curious, ask questions.
I know somebody who got a divorce in their 20s. I couldn't believe that. I was like, I didn't even know 20-something-year-olds get divorces. I didn't know that. I thought they at least give it to your 30s and be like, all right, this ain't working.
I just think there's a culture of running from your problems. People don't sit and face and try to work out their problems because that forces you to take accountability. And a lot of people do not take accountability. It's always woe is me. This is what they did. And I'm just going to leave this situation because it's not working for me or whatever. Now, don't get me wrong. There's certain situations like I've kissed a lot of frogs. There's certain things that are just not compatible. Like, you know what I mean? Well, when I say frogs, I'm just saying like I've dated people that weren't necessarily compatible for me in the long run, which is why we're not together now. So I think everybody, goes through that because you have to go through those experiences to see what you want in life. So I get that. But there are a lot of people that just don't face their problems. It's easier to just walk away and get a divorce. So.
That's what they're saying about Tia, right? My dog went on an interview and said that marriage. Y'all seen that clip where she said marriage is like a curriculum? I was like, I think your divorce is a little too new for you to be giving advice right now. You need to be sitting down somewhere healing, sis.
I don't know what she was talking about. I don't know what she was talking about.
I don't care what none.
Just say you want to be back on the streets, bro. You think the grass is greener, bro. Just say that, bro. Like it's all good.
I honestly do not care what anybody got going on in their relationship. I really don't. Like it's like I don't care what none of these celebrities. I hate to say it. I don't care what my friends got going on in their relationship. It's not my business, and their relationship is their relationship. My relationship is my relationship. Sometimes it's better to not know what's going on in anybody's relationship so it doesn't influence what you got going on. Because the women be like, oh, so-and-so does this. Why you don't do that? Like, no, I don't need to know what nobody got going on. It is not my business. Everything good? You happy?
You ain't getting beat up, sis? Let me know. Right. Blink your eye. Blink your eye. Don't wear the makeup. If he hit you, that's the only time I want to get involved. But it is, that goes back to comparison is such a devil. Because you'll see your friend husband upgraded her ring, bought her a house, bought her a car, and you like, dang, like we sharing one car. And you not even focused on being grateful for the fact that in y'all sharing this one car, you guys have such a close relationship. You're so close, but not to come against the friend, but that friend, like, her life is miserable. He only does those things because he's unfaithful. Not everybody deals with that. Not everybody. Some husbands do that because they rightfully love their wife and they just want to, celebrate them in that state. But there are some who do these things because they're just really unfaithful or they just don't want to spend time with her. So I buy her stuff. So I don't got to be around.
Yeah. I mean, there's vices in every relationship. I think there's good and bad in every relationship. Like nobody's relationship is perfect, but the whole point of what's good for me might not be good for you, might not work for you, and that's okay. Everybody's relationship is different. I
Yep.
just don't care to know. As long as you happy, it's all good. I don't even
Mm.
know what's going on in your relationship.
You're right, though, Shirley. You're right. We gotta practice to not be focused on what other people are doing. You gotta focus on what you are doing. What is your purpose, your time here? All of that time we waste looking at people's lives. That's why I'm not really a fan of reality shows. I can't get down. I'm sitting down watching a series. Every time I watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, I don't get sad. I just be like, y'all live like this for real, or y'all do this for ratings? Because y'all life is depressing.
I don't care what you got going on in your life. I don't care. Like, how does this
I got my own. I don't care about yours.
right?
I got my own issues.
You don't
Cares
care
and
about mine,
affairs.
yeah? You don't
Listen,
care about
Right.
mine.
like, yeah.
I
That's
don't
one
care.
thing we need to practice this year. Everybody needs to take a step back and be like, when you finding time to gossip about somebody, you finding time to critique somebody's life and do all of this, take a moment back and say, okay, what is going wrong in my life that I have time to critique someone else's life?
I don't have time to
That's
even
the
know what's
question,
going.
bro.
If somebody call me like, "Oh, I just want to talk," I'm like, "Bitch, you got 10 minutes because I got to do something." I don't
Yeah,
have time.
unless it's something so dire that I have to listen to, like I'd be like, I'm so sorry, but can I call you back? And you knowing me, I might not call you back.
I got
Hey, don't let
like,
Shirley lie to you, bro. Shirley will sit there and listen to some damn gossip. Shirley will sit there and listen to some damn gossip, man, and be on the
No,
phone for an hour and a half.
now me and Shirley used to do some research. Listen, on Facebook clip when all we had was Facebook, me and Shirley could tell you who broke up with who when they was there. And you would see us in the breezeway and didn't even know we knew your business. And I'd be like, Shirley,
Yes.
did
So
you
that's what
see
I'm saying.
who you
Shirley
was
sitting
with
up here lying to you, acting like she don't like the drama and
no,
the gossip, bro. She love it.
Cliff,
She
I don't
love
have
it.
time. I
today?
literally only talk on the phone when I'm like driving in the car because that's the only time I have time to actually have a conversation with somebody. Because otherwise, like I'm working or taking care of the kids or cook or dinner or this or that. So
You're
like,
busy.
I don't.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
busy.
But in some of them activities, you can have the phone on. You be having your headphones on when you cooking. You know what I'm saying? Gossiping. You be
Who's
what you call
Cliff?
it?
You sound like a
Cliff.
hater. You sound everybody like a little good tea every
It
now and
do
Hmm?
then.
not be.
Okay.
It do not be
Everybody
gossip.
like tea. Men
I
men
call
be
it being
sharing
there
tea.
for your friend. Okay,
Yeah. Everybody like
there
a
for
little
your
bit of tea
friend.
every
I
now and
guess.
then.
I guess. If
Everybody
that's what
likes
you
some
call it.
tea.
If that's what y'all calling it these days, being there for your friend.
He like it. Don't worry because he'll be as soon as he gets some tea. Shirley,
I do
You
not do
bet.
that. Cut it out. You listen. This is how loose Shirley is with information. She divulges it to me. I don't even want it. I tell her all the time I don't want it, bro.
Oh, I
She
tell
gives
Cliff
it to me.
everything.
She
I tell
divulges to
Cliff
me.
everything.
I try to keep your most intimate, like if my girlfriend told me her most intimate details, but sis, if it sound good, sometimes I just want to know what my husband think. I'd be like, babe, and he'd be like,
What's your
I don't
perspective on
care.
this?
I don't care.
No, like if it's something serious and then it's like don't tell nobody
Yes,
thing.
yeah.
I don't know. I won't say nothing. But if it's just something, I'd be like Cliff. Let me tell you what so and so like. I gotta talk to somebody. You
I
talk
gotta
to
I
tell
mean,
a
I get it.
friend.
You feel me? I enjoy the little the reports. You
Look,
know what I'm saying? I don't mind, but I'm just saying I don't volunteer and ask for them. You know what I'm saying?
well,
you.
you're my best
I
friend.
feel like you volunteer with the mere fact you listening. You don't turn a blind. You know them. Everybody been posting that like how the Quavo and the Takeoff song. I saw somebody post a video when the girl came back from her girls trip and the husband was sitting there with the wine and you know the part that Quavo's not Quavo, Takeoff's part of the first song where he was like hop in the 16, whatever, and then he was sitting there like when and doing all these different things. I said that is just a husband for real. Y'all be wanting to hear the tea because our friends' lives be interesting to y'all.
He
Y'all
like
like the
hearing
tea.
the tea. He
No,
like
I don't
hearing.
mind hearing it. I ain't gonna lie. I don't mind hearing it, but because
You don't live for it.
I got to a point where I just stopped saying, "Oh, I don't need to know about that," because she gonna tell me anyways, bro. So
We are. That we are. That we are.
This is my thing. First of all, Cliff is my best friend. Who else am I supposed to tell? I can't go tell my other friends because then that's talking about each other. And then Cliff, I know is not gonna say nothing. Cliff gonna forget about it the moment I tell him. He's gonna forget an hour
But
later.
but you come
Because
tell
I
me
don't
that so and
care
so
that
cheated on
much.
her spouse. I might dwell on that.
Right.
I might dwell. Cliff might be like, man. All right, but what we eating for dinner? We eating that
Right.
steak,
Yeah,
this,
because I
that,
don't
and
care
fourth.
that
The man
much,
is not
bro.
like a
On to the
woman.
next topic, bro. What we doing in this household?
Exactly.
No, sometimes though, it make you question your spouse. You know, when your friends come tell you so and so found out her spouse was cheating. Now the husband be like, now don't you come here with that mess. I am not his. I am not so and so. Don't. We're not playing them games. Rollin will remind me of that in the quickness. I'm like, babe, so and so did this, and then I'll be like, well, is your location on? He says, see this. Why I don't want to hear about your friends. I don't care what your friends are doing, because now I'm paying the price because her husband is trash. I don't want to hear it.
Man.
Or
That's
you
funny.
tell them that they was about to break up, and then y'all go to an event and y'all see them there. You know your husband be hitting you under the table like, I thought you said
Oh man, that's
Cliff
crazy.
don't be remembering nothing. I'm like, Cliff,
I
remember
don't,
when I
bro.
told
I
you?
really don't.
I'm like, damn, right there. Remember when I told you this? You gotta tell the
yeah.
whole story.
By the time you tell the whole story, the friend listening like, you told my husband.
Oh man, because I really do not care, though. But the question at the bottom is the reason many marriages or relationships fail because there is no plan in the relationship.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Do you think you can
I,
come up
I
with a plan mid relationship? You said for the first you said first three. Well, I don't know if it's first three, but you said 3 years you was unhappy, 7 you was good, happy, but 6 you actually knew the purpose. So like, do you
Yeah.
think you can get the plan mid marriage or relationship, or it's like if you don't have it at the beginning, it's done.
I think that goes back to what Shirley said before. Like, some people are not willing to do the work. Because in the first year, you're not gonna get anything right. Sometimes in the first year, the only thing you got right is the fact that y'all had sex twice a week. Thank God you was capable of doing that, you know. But then you got to look at the marriages like y'all marriage and our marriage, where we started with a jit. So it wasn't even a typical marriage. We're trying to balance marriage and balance parenting at the same
Mhm.
time. That's very difficult. I usually advise people when they ask me, because I don't give unsolicited advice anymore. But if you ask me, what do you think about us having a baby your first year? I said, don't do it. Run. Don't do it. Y'all don't even know each other. Especially if it's a marriage where y'all just met each other last year. Now you getting married. Y'all don't know each other. What y'all bringing in a victim for? No. No. And then, well, God said, and I heard y'all talking about it on a podcast. One of the podcasts that I missed. Sometimes people do blame God and say God said we're supposed to have a kid. Yeah, God said you were supposed to have a kid, but God didn't tell you this year. Okay. He created your body to do certain things that it's going to naturally do. If we come together, the penis and the vagina comes together and the sperm comes in and the egg is ready, it's going to, because that's how he made the body. Don't you dare blame God and say he said this year. No, you did what you wanted to do. But I firmly don't believe, no, I think you can recover. In marriage, you can recover. It is going to be a dying process. It's going to be a trying process, but you can recover. There's a few things I think that are non-negotiables, like Shirley was mentioning why you can't compare your marriage to others. My non-negotiable may not even be on your list. I may say that I forgive if he steps out. And some people are like, I'm not tolerating it. I'm breaking the marriage. That is it. Even the Bible says I have a way out because they committed adultery, and that's it. Is that my portion? Honestly, I've had adultery in my marriage. Have we stayed? I said we married 10 years. And I just don't think that's something to get a divorce over. Some people, it is definitely a reason to get a divorce. If you were married to Derek Jacks, that's definitely a reason to get a divorce.
What happened with that?
Y'all didn't see recently
he's getting a divorce. Yeah, he's divorcing his wife.
He's Shalom. he's divorcing the wife, but
Mhm.
supposedly last month she was praying all hell and damnation on anybody breaking their marriage. So it seems like she's not ready for a divorce. See, that man is gonna get in trouble with God because he put that lady through hell.
Mm. He might get in trouble with her, but she might snap and just, you know what
I
I'm saying?
pray she don't though. I pray she don't. But that's one of the examples that, okay, some people are like, if I stay, to go back to your question, Cliff, if I stay and I end up like Derek Jack's wife, who am I to blame but myself?
But you're always to blame yourself because
You are.
It's
you
always your
choosing
fault.
you
You
choosing
chose.
anyway.
You did choose.
You
I
always
t-
choose, and you
at
choose
a
every day.
at a marriage event we had at our church, one of the questions were, how do you guys get through a affair? And somebody mentioned, if you decide to stay, you got to decide to forgive. Don't you stay and make this person pay every single day of their
Mm.
life because they stepped out. You might as well have left so they have peace and you have peace.
You
If
have
you
peace.
know you're not capable of forgiving, and even if it's not adultery, if it's the person hit you, if you are not capable of trusting and forgiving them for that, you need to let them leave, and you need to leave. Maybe it's only a season, because everybody don't even, that's another thing. Why is it everybody announces now that they're getting a divorce? Why is that normal?
It used to be
So when you
shame, girl.
start
Nothing is
seeing me
shame no more.
posting, so when you start seeing me posting pictures with my new dude, you don't talk about me.
Because clearly that's the case. That is the case. Like,
Or
everybody's
say, oh,
announcing
being cheating on your
divorces.
husband. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you don't think I'm cheating on my husband?
Let me tell you something. The day I get divorced, you know when y'all gonna find out? The day I go to glory. Okay? You're not even gonna see his name. Because one thing I've always said in my mind, if me and Roland ever get a divorce, nobody's gonna know. It's not because of shame. I just don't think it's nobody's business. If
Yeah,
we get a divorce, not even my kids gonna know I'm divorced. I don't care what nobody say. He might sleep, we might sleep in the same room, this, that, until I'm ready to, until I found a healthy way to release it so my children are not broken. I'm not announcing it. I'm just not. And I get it. That ain't everybody portion. That's, I'm being a bit extreme. I get it, but I don't know. So Derek Jackson announced it. It looked like old girl didn't even know they were getting a divorce.
I think back to the question, is the reason why many marriages or relationships fail because there's no plan. I think also the type of plan matters. I feel like sometimes you'll have two different plans or two different visions on how the marriage should work or look like. So I think it needs to make sure that it is a plan that has some collaborative efforts involved. Because because some people have their idea of what marriage is and what it looks like and try to find someone that fits that idea or that vision. And then it might work for a time period, but as we grow, as we get older, our vision might change. So you have to consistently modify that plan. And again, it needs to be a collaborative effort. I think a lot of the times people have some who have a plan in their mind, they don't budge on what they got going on because they feel like this is the way it should be. So I think that's important to mention because you can have a plan and your marriage still fail.
So Shirley, you believe that if you come up, if like one of the spouses come up with a plan, it's very important if we sit down and we try to bring both our plans on the same page,
Absolutely.
and not just be like, well, I was getting ready to buy a car in year 5 of the marriage. He's like, you never told me anything about a
Absolutely.
car.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Because whatever you do is going to affect me. So if it's going
All
to
the
affect
time.
me, give me the sheer respect of allowing me to put my input.
All the
Yeah.
time.
I think
So
a lot of people's reason it's not like that is because a lot of people who's inside their relationship or their marriage still moving like they
Single.
individuals. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I gotta do this for myself. She's doing her shit for herself. You know what I'm saying? And two things is going two directions. You know what I'm saying? And then I think that's yeah, it's because two people is moving in individualized plans, right? Instead of a plan that they came together as a unit and said, okay, this is
yeah,
how we move in. This is how we want to do our kids. This is where we want to put them for school. You know what I'm saying? This is where we want to live so we can get them into a better school. Like people not thinking unified. They're thinking more singular.
I think
Absolutely.
that goes back to the partnership. Some people are not looking at their marriage is just a contract. So for
It
this,
really
we're
is.
just gonna do this, this, that, and the fourth. It's really a covenant. I'm coming in this thing together. We're supposed to be united. When we do stuff, we're doing stuff together. Like, granted, if you want to be a doctor, that don't mean I gotta be a doctor because you a doctor. Not like that. But if I want to buy a big house, I need you to want to buy a big house too. So it's not just me. So then, God forbid, we get the big house and now we can't afford to live in it. You blaming me because you never wanted the big house.
Yeah. And then I think it's also okay to know that there's things that you can take the back burner on. Like I might not care about stocks and all that stuff, so I
Yeah,
let you handle that piece. You might not care really about, like, you just know the kid's going to go to a good school. You don't need to be involved. Whatever, you let
yeah,
me handle the education. Like I think you just have to, and even if that person is handling that aspect, you should still communicate what's going on with your partner, regardless.
yeah, yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Or the
On that
person is going
note.
to feel burdened because they feel like I'm going to have to carry all the weight. I saw that in one podcast where one spouse was much better with money than the other one. So the one who was better with money dealt with all of the money stuff. But then the one who wasn't good, then that person felt like, dang, I can't spend my money on nothing. Because everything I spend the money on, you say no. But remember, you guys made an agreement that
Yeah.
they was going to be the one with the money. So now they're very successful. And it's part of their success was they decided that we ain't never going to do that. Oh, it's all on one person from now on. We're
Mhm.
going to split and share everything. So it's not me just doing the budget. We both going to do the budget
Yeah.
from now on. So that's
Yeah.
part of, I guess, that going to your next
The
question about
solution. Yeah.
solutions, you have to make in your partnership and even your friendships and stuff, you got to come to some understanding. Okay, even though I'm better at this than you are, we're still going to find a means and ways where everybody does it. Like in our group of friends, the planners Shirley and Linda are better at planning than the other in the group. I could just say that they are the better planners, right? But sometimes Shirley and Linda are consumed with life, like we all are. We're all consumed with life sometimes, so they can't plan. So let's say there's a weekend where Mona's free and Mona's like, oh, let's do brunch. Then Mona knows because she's the one who wants to plan it. You plan the brunch. You send it in a group text, and we're all okay. If you can come, you come. If you can't, you can't, and it's okay. But now it's
Mhm.
a balance. It's not always Shirley and Linda planning everything.
That
So
is
Because
true.
the planner wants to be invited to some stuff too. Jeez, the planner
mm-hmm.
don't want to plan all the time.
Yeah,
But no,
Okay.
I think I agree with Cassandra, and I also think a solution is just to continuously provide structure in your personal life, whether it be creating a contract, writing down goals, all that stuff, and then also in your relationship by collaborating with your partner and setting goals and all that stuff.
yeah,
And because pretty much you'll have your individualized goals, and then you'll have your relationship goals. And we all know that with some type of structure or goal in mind, then we can kind of guide our life into the direction that we want it to be, where we can be the most successful. So I think that that would be the solution. And I think even when you make your individualized goals, that you should discuss with your partner, because they might see something that you can work on or develop personally that you might not see. So I think that collaboration across the board and creating a plan is the solution.
yeah,
I like that.
yeah.
I think that's probably the main, I guess, goal of this episode is you ain't gonna get nowhere if you ain't got a plan, bro. Like
Without a
plan
pen,
for
the
your
people fail.
relationship, plan for yourself, plan for your kids, plan everything. You know what I'm saying?
Plan for your
That's the
money.
only way to move forward is just taking steps, planning, planning, planning.
Yeah.
But on that note, I'm gonna move it to open floor. What's everybody got
Close the door.
comments, questions, concerns?
Nope, all good over here. What time
Yeah.
it is? 8:30. It's about to be 2 hours now, Cliff.
Shirley got to eat and go to bed.
I'm hungry.
Did y'all get jobs give y'all Christmas breaks?
Absolutely.
No, I'm being serious.
Yeah, I start December 19th. I go back
Uh-huh.
January 3rd.
Bruh. The government is wicked. The government is wicked. You know
What
what break
happened?
I get? I asked if y'all jobs gave y'all Christmas breaks.
Oh yeah, I get one. It is a couple of days. You know what I'm saying? I get like a week off. I think
Cliff, I get a day.
Christmas Day.
Baby, if Christmas didn't fall on Sunday, I wasn't gonna be off on Monday. Okay, that's the
Oh, you get
only
Monday
reason.
off. Okay.
I get Monday off because it fell on West Coast. But I ain't making them know. I'm looking for another job right now. No, I don't want to say job. I'm changing my career. I don't want to say a job. I think um we call it a job, and then when it starts to aggravate you, it's a job. So there's no pleasure. I'm gonna start calling it a career. I'm switching my career because it's not just them too. I think because my mindset was so low, my expectation for myself was low. I didn't think I could do what I'm really about to step into now. So I'm like, nah, you don't gotta stay at you staying at this job because you want to stay at this job. It's not because you have to stay here.
Put it on your board. Write it down. Make a
I
contract.
am.
Elevation, bro. It's all about elevation.
Yeah,
You ain't
this year,
growing, you
next.
dying.
Yeah.
They at least give y'all a holiday bonus.
Which government agency give out bonuses? Your bonus is you have a job. That's your bonus. You have a job.
I'm trying to figure out why people say working for the government is such a good job. Like,
It's
These
listen.
benefits, but you know what I'm saying, it was more of a good job in like the 80s and the 90s. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying, when the benefits was good, and then you feel me, like it was a structured thing, and then if you retired, you know what I'm saying, you got like pension and all that shit. It was good back then.
Now
The pay rate
it's
didn't
not.
go, you know what I'm saying, the pay rate didn't go up with inflation. You know what I'm saying, so you pretty much
It
living off
never
of
goes up. It
1990s,
never goes up.
2000s prices, and then
Yeah.
or salaries, and then still trying to live.
not only
And
that, I always hear benefits, but like these corporate jobs benefits are off the chain.
let me tell you something. Do y'all know some corporate jobs have unlimited PTO?
Cliff has unlimited PTO.
Unlimited.
Yeah, Cliff has unlimited PTO.
Cliff,
I don't
y'all
use
hiring?
it,
Let
but
me know when we get off of this. Let me send you my resume.
You
But
guys,
when you a parent, that unlimited PTO is chef kiss. You hear me? The fact that these people ain't beating you up because your child is sick again.
yeah.
There's really, I'm not hating. I'm not being funny. The only benefit I see with working for the government is that student loan waiver. That is it. Right now,
I
that's
get it.
That's it. Because the insurance, for me to change, I have to change my insurance tomorrow. I'm gonna pay almost $600 in insurance in a month to cover my family of 6. Now, granted, that's on me. I decided to have a family of 6. I get it. So y'all ain't gotta come in the comments and say, "Oh, why she got something?" I chose to have a family of 6. I get it, but it's a lot of money. The government, and I think it is because of because of the agency I work for. Because when when my husband was working for the post office, he was only paying like maybe $400 or $500 a month, and he had excellent insurance at the post office. I mean, I never paid anything. My pregnancies, all I paid $300. For a twin pregnancy, I paid $3,000. And people out here paying 10, 15, 20, 30,000. And I had a C-section. So I don't know. I don't really think there's perks. I think I'm getting ready to go back to the private sector. If I could be real, I'm gonna just go back. At first, when I left the private sector, it was because there was perks in going to the government. There was the pay. You get basically 3 retirements. You get your first, your TSP, and then you get another then your Social Security. But looking at it now, y'all get them same stuff at corporate private too. Y'all get the same stuff.
You know how much I pay for insurance for me and the 2 boys? So it's 3 of
How
us.
much?
$100. $100 for all 3 of us, and it's Blue Cross Blue Shield.
And that's the best insurance right now. Ooh, child. I ain't gonna covet, Lord. I ain't gonna covet, God. I ain't gonna covet, but my God.
No, these corporate jobs definitely have some really good benefits. I can't deny my job. Like we get 20 weeks maternity leave paid. Like they paid, and the student loan forgiveness thing, I get that too. They actually paid $50 towards my student loans every month. It's a lot of perks. It's a lot of perks. A lot.
Do you have what downfalls you see at your job?
None.
Not
None.
yet. How long you been there, Shirley?
Well, I was part time. I started part time August 2021. I was doing that while I was doing my AP job, and then I transitioned full time in July. So
Oh, so you have seen seasons. You've seen seasons at this job. Oh, that's good.
I love it. They gave us like a $5,000 bonus because inflation. They're like, we know the cost of living is going up. Here's $5,000.
And $5,000 goes a long way now.
It definitely does.
It goes a long way. You could pay your mortgage for like 2-3 months with that. Maybe even 4.
Very beneficial. Like on evaluation every year, you get a 13% raise. So like your pay is consistently going up.
Y'all want to hear how much the government give you raises by? The government this year, Social Security, for everyone who's receiving Social Security benefits, even SSI, and SSI is for low income, low resources. So this is basically someone who didn't even really work. You know what they used to call the crazy check back in the day? That's what SSI basically is, right? I'm not saying it's a crazy check, but that's basically what they said it is. Everybody got an 8.7% raise increase. It's a COLA, cost of living increase, right? Last year, the government my agency gave us a 1.2% increase.
Inflation when is 2%. Inflation is 2% at least every year. At least.
Listen, when I say I didn't even feel the raise, I didn't even feel it. I didn't even feel it. It felt like I made the same amount of money for 2 years in a row. And then the government uses like this GS scale. You can look up our pay scale online. You could just type in OPM GS pay scale, and you can look at, once you find out what grade they're at and what part of the slide they're on, you can see how much they make. You have people who really don't even do nothing making 6 figures in the government.
Well, I mean, the more you make, the less you do. I truly believe that.
Yes, you do, but you work your way up to get there, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
because like what I do now, I mean, when I was an AP, I was working way harder than what I was. I was killing myself before. Yeah. Now it's like, like.
But you're fine with the process the way that you did it.
Yeah. I'm definitely grateful for like all my experiences, because that's how I was able to get where I am at now. So
yeah. Cliff,
froze.
I know. Y'all are frozen too. I'm trying to reload right now.
Yeah, but I can hear you. How long you been at your job, Cliff?
It's gonna be a year. I want to say like mid-January. It's gonna be a year.
You left your other job?
Yeah, I was it's part of the game. You know what I'm saying? I got level up. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I was there, and it was a good position, and I love the people.
Because you was there for a few years, right?
Yeah, for like 4 years, I was there. So you know what I'm saying?
But they gave you the experience.
A lot of experience, bro. Getting my resume padded up. You know what I'm saying? And then got this job, and with this one, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do the same thing. Stay a couple years. You know what I'm saying? Get my resume padded up. I'm already doing newer stuff than I did at the other job. You know what I'm saying? So I got certifications through this job. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna level up again and then make the next move.
I think I forgot who I was talking to about it, but we weren't taught to go from, they call it job hopping. We weren't taught to do that. We were taught to get that one job, work that job till you die. But now millennials are starting to wake up and realize that is nonsense. That is nonsense. These jobs, I've had coworkers who, they passed away, and we still have to give their deaths away. Somebody else got to sit there. Everything has to keep moving. So that's good. One day we should talk about careers. We
could make an episode like that and just make it about careers.
Yeah, because I don't know if people watching this realize we're actually professionals.
They thinking it was just a bunch of freaking random people we're talking shit.
Yeah, no, we not. We went to college. We're actually professionals. We got real jobs. Real jobs.
Oh yeah, we got real jobs, careers. You know, we been through things, traumas and past and stuff like that. We real people.
Yeah. I would
But
love to talk about that.
I'm gonna
look like Shirley can't come back.
Yeah, she said something wrong with the computer. So I'm gonna say appreciate it. Thanks y'all for joining this week. I think it was a good
great
conversation.
Talk. Yeah,
and we did good. And we'll be back again next week with another topic.
Another topic, another day. All right.
All right then.
All right.